It's time to write a thank you note to your tailor, put away your chisels until tomorrow, and sacrifice an artichoke to your favorite mystery cult.
Because it's time to talk Tull to me.
I'm Omen Sade.
And I'm Nick McGill.
We are Feckless Momes.
And we are here as the hosts of Talk Tull to Me.
Nick and I have been friends for almost 2 decades, and now, much like Virgil and Dante, we are making our way through the 3 worlds of Jethro Tull. We have just begun our voyage, and we are on the second album.
The second album that is Stand Up. We are on track number 4 this week, Back to the Family.
Oh, Nick.
Yeah?
Can I be Dante this week?
Fine, I guess. But I don't want to hold hands. Okay.
Wow, Nick, what do you, first reactions? Just say words, don't even make sentences.
Pastoral. Pastoral.
Ah, yes. Or pastoral.
Or pastoral.
Or al pastor, like how I like some of my tacos.
Al Pastor was my Spanish teacher in high school.
Oh my god. I made a terrible mistake. So yeah, definitely. But also there is the opposite of pastoral, of pastoral.
The point of view of this, to me, feels like it is pastoral or pastoral.
I think we can say pastoral. Saying pastoral is weird.
Yeah, I say pastoral. You're the one who said pastoral.
Listen, there's no reason to place blame here. Yeah, interesting. I find, first of all, I just want to say that this is a song that I really strongly relate to. It resonates with me on such a deep level.
I can see that.
Yeah. And I feel like it is representative of someone who really is caught between the country life and the city life in a way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Having originated in the country life.
Right, but not necessarily feeling at home in either one.
Yeah, there's a lot of comparison in the lyrics, but neither is saying one is better than the other. Neither is saying, oh, look at how crappy this place is because it's better over here.
No, it's literally just, no, I totally agree. It's like a parable of the grass is always greener.
Yeah.
It's like, here I am unhappy because of this, and this. So I'm going to go to this place where I can finally do this. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm miserable here in a totally unique and different way.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no bright side. There's no looking for the best part of where you are at the moment. But it's also not, oh, look at the city, man, I wish I could go Uber to get street tacos. It's, man, I have to. Can you tell I don't live in the city? I just
That is all we do, actually. That's why I was late to this.
Hashtag Uber, hashtag street taco. I follow City on Instagram.
Get off of my Instagram.
That silliness aside, there's no looking at that where he is not and seeing a reason to go there. It's the reason that he left there.
Right.
While simultaneously complaining about where he is now.
Right. He's like a cat.
Never truly happy wherever they are?
Correct, yes. Always wanting to go to the other side of the door.
Oh. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. I also think that there's something deeper, though, than really just the city-country question here.
Yeah.
I think that we could look at the title of the song, because the title of the song is not Back to the Country.
Right.
It's really about a group of people. And I think it's both. It's both his literal biological family that he visits in the country, and then his chosen family, if you will. I know that's a very popular term right now, but his work family.
Sure. Right.
And I think it's important to remember that, like, Ian Anderson was who did write this. No, there are no other writers on this song.
Yeah.
He was 21, 22, right, at this moment in 1969. On April the 21st, 1969, when this song was recorded.
Wow, you got that.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I had my wheatgrass today.
So it's...
Had to wash the taste of tacos out of my mouth. Ay.
Hashtag street tacos.
Hashtag street mouth.
Oh Lord.
But I think that, you know, I'm just thinking back to, like, when I was 21 and 22, and I always did have this sensation of, like, oh, if I go back to my mom's house or my dad's house, like, oh, I can do this, and they'll, like, take care of me or whatever, and I'll be able to relax, I'll be able to, because you know, at that age you're still kind of a kid, really.
Oh yeah, certainly the way that that we raise kids in the States, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then I have a distinct memory of, like, going back there and being like, oh, I remember all the reasons why I was excited to leave home.
Yeah.
And it had really nothing to do with them. It was all, I think it's like the perception of that moment in your life.
Sure, you've had that taste of freedom, but there is still even on a very low level, there is still a certain sense of dependency because you're still so fresh out of the nest.
Right, but at the same time, you can't stand engaging with that dependency in a way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You once you're out of the house, there's no sense of transition. It's just a matter of, oh, I'm free, so I shouldn't have to rely on any of these people who raised me, basically.
Right. Well, and as the line in the song says, doing nothing is bothering me.
Yeah.
I think I enjoyed all my problems where I didn't get nothing for free.
That's exactly it. He being the narrator of the song, whether it's Jeffrey or Ian or Martin Lancelot Barr, we don't know.
I think in this case it really is Ian Anderson. I think
it feels very autobiographical for sure.
And it has that really distinct sense of restlessness and workaholicness.
Uh-huh.
That I think is just really fundamental to who he is in his life as a person. Wasn't there a quote from him, like, much later on, when we were going to concerts and things, that he said, some interviewer was saying, oh, you travel so often for touring, what's it like to be home? And he said something like, well, I never unpack my suitcase all the way.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid that if I do, then I'll never go back out on the road again, and that terrifies me.
That sounds right. Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, logistically, it makes sense. He's been touring for the last, 50?
50 years. And if he had that feeling, I mean, that was, let's say, 15 years ago.
Sure.
When he was in his 60s at least.
Yeah, right.
If he felt that way at that age, imagine how he felt when he was 21, 22.
Yeah.
He must have been a very energetic person.
Manic almost. Mm-hmm. Which is, I think I've heard reviews of a lot of their early shows, his early performances, and that's one of the benefits of being on the flute is he could twitch and bop all over the stage.
Well, right, and you can see on YouTube the performances. I saw something today online that was him from one of those early concerts, and it's like, the performance style is so different than what you would see anywhere on TV or a music video today, in terms of a live performance.
Yeah.
He doesn't stand still. He doesn't not move ever. He's constantly in motion.
Oh yeah, and I think it was exacerbated by the fact that he always wore like really long coats. He had super long hair. There
so
were
even
legs
if he did
kicking in
moving,
the air at all times. Like he was he could barely hold it back, it seems. And even when we saw them 15 years ago, granted he had probably a bionic hip at that point, But he was still like even when he was planted behind the mic, I still remember him kind of bobbing and weaving and when partially probably because of his singing range, but also like when he would sing, I remember a very specific memories of those high notes. He would tiptoe, he would stretch his body physically.
Yeah. He's so physical.
Yeah, even at 60 or so, he was all over the place. Yeah.
Whew. Do you want to talk a little bit about the musical structure of this piece?
Oh, can we please?
Yeah, go for it. What do you have there?
I didn't notice it until we sat down to really kind of decipher things for this show. But the mellow levels of I need to get out of here, I need to go back to my family, and then that punch, that really quick shift of the manicness again,
and the electric guitar coming in.
That really heavy industrial almost feel to it of when he's
dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
And I'll put in the sound here.
Oh, you don't want me to do it? Squiddly dee squiddly dee squiddly dee squiddly dee.
That power of, I don't know if it's a buildup of rage or if it's really just the juxtaposition of country/family to the city portion of it. But there's really that super strong twist, and then it drops. It drops so fast too, and then it goes back into the It almost feels like a canter. I just feel like a steady, like it goes into a steady, like dun 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 dun.
Oh, a canter being the trot of the horse.
Yes.
Not the singer in a Jewish religious ceremony.
No, one who cants, you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah, a cantor, that's the singer in Jewish
at brisses
ceremonies.
At a bris?
I've never been to a bris, but at the B'nai Mitzvah that I went to, there was a cantor who was amazing.
I imagine traditional Jewish, not folk songs, but religious song?
No, it's the actual text. It's the actual.
Oh, okay.
You literally sing the text of the Torah,
the Hebrew, right?
Yeah. So it's like, it's beautiful, but it's also like, it's not like a song about the religion. It literally is. It is the religion. It is the religion. Yeah. It's so incredible. Anyway, so yes, the horse pace.
Yes.
Of a cantor.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Well, and I the thing that for me the guitar change feels like is the difference between, there's like this cycle that I go through sometimes, and I this is part of the reason I relate so strongly to this song, is that I often find myself being like, oh well, right now everything's kind of unbearable, but I know when I get to this thing that I'm going to be doing, or if I get to this place, then everything's going to be great. And then I get there, and I think a lot of people have this experience, then you get there and you realize that it's just like everywhere else. Yeah. It's just your life still. It just happens to be in a different place. And then you get that, oh, I played myself almost feeling.
Yeah.
Or like that frustration, and then immediately start to fantasize about the next place where if you go to, everything will be fine. That's what I feel from this.
Yeah.
And the thing that I think is interesting is with the structure of it, I am curious. I wish we knew who played on each moment, because I think that mellow part that you talk about, the diddle-dim-dim, squiddle-dim-dim, diddle-dim-dee, and those verses, I think that's Ian Anderson on the guitar.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
And then I think the dum-dum-dum, da-dum-dum-ba-dum, I think that's Martin Barr coming in on the electric.
That makes a lot of sense.
With his hella precision and frickin' overdrive style.
Especially because so far, we don't have a whole lot of proof behind this, but so far it feels like they're much more apt to have two people play the same instrument versus taking multi-takes and multi-tracks.
It could be, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Yeah, absolutely. That would make a lot of sense. And Anderson is more specialized on the acoustic guitar, and Martin Barre is, of course, more the master of the electric, I think.
Yeah, more that is so far. I mean, it's granted it's still early, but it certainly feels more his thing.
Yeah.
Bec- yeah, yes, fact.
Yes.
I want to go back to the what you were talking about with getting to that place and kind of ruining it and then looking forward to the next portion or the next leg, basically.
Yeah.
I don't see a fantasization of the next leg in this.
Oh, interesting.
I feel like this is post the first move, just after realizing how crappy this place is too, but before that next step.
Yeah. What about the verse? So the place where I'm getting that is, for instance, I'll get a train back to the city. That soft life is getting me down. The place I am now is getting me down. There's more fun away from the family. Get some action when I pull into town. I feel like he's looking forward to it. He's like, yeah, I'm going to roll into town. I'm going to roll into London. And there's going to be some action, some fun.
Sure. I mean, I see that, but I don't think we can really take that out of context. Look at literally the next verse. Everything I do is wrong. What the hell was I thinking? The phone keeps ringing all day long. I got no time for thinking.
And that's that switch.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's in the music where it goes from that mellow kind of fantasizing to the electric reality.
And that's him singing back in the city. That is a city verse. Yeah.
Yes, the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, well, everything I do is wrong.
So the everything I do is wrong, to me, okay, you know what? I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. I think that's enough. Now that I think about it, with that musical transition in there, I think there's more fun away from the family, get some action when I pull into town. That's that fantasization. And then that bump, 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 that is him back in the city, and he realizes.
That's like the cold, wet newspaper to the face of reality.
Stepping into. Did you ever see Inside Llewellyn Davis, Coen Brothers? Oscar Isaac plays a folk artist.
No, I don't think I ever did see that.
I don't generally like the Coen Brothers, but I like it. I like their movies that are based around music.
Okay.
And it's just this tragic tale of this artist, this broke folk artist that is trying desperately to get to Chicago to audition for a guy that could really launch his career in this club.
Right.
I don't know if he gets off the bus. I forgot how he gets there, but there's an adventure just getting to Chicago. But he doesn't have a winter coat. He doesn't have boots. So he's in this ragged suit coat in these like crappy shoes, and he's walking through like snow above his ankles. And that's the cold newspaper in the face to me, is like having to trudge through the snow under the L to get to this dive bar.
Yeah, no, I think that's spot on. And I think that if you put it into the context of where Ian Anderson was in this part of his life, I mean, like they had their first album out. They like ground, and then they got their first album out, and then they kind of like got a bump of fame and played at a bunch of festivals. And now they have their second album out and they've got some singles. That's not a secured career.
No.
That's still, you're still, even with success, that's still the grinding phase. And so I imagine there were times that he probably burned out and was just like, oh my God, I just want to go back to Scotland and look at some ducks.
But then he starts to get the itch because he's so accustomed to running around like an insane person.
Yeah. And probably has underlying conflicts with his father. I mean, not to like...
That is a very broad assumption.
Not to go so deep on this, but judging from some of the other songs that he wrote over the years, I'm willing to bet.
I mean,
there maybe were some daddy issues.
I love Why Daddy Why as much as the next person, but...
And also, I'll never be happy because of you.
The 3 minutes of just crying with Martin Barre laughing in the background, I can only listen to it so many times. That's a great concept album, though. I mean, really.
Yeah. Well, just keep the mic running after we get off this session.
I really like his voice in this song.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the full-on Jeffrey.
No, it sounds earnest in a way.
It feels very genuine. It feels like it's Ian Anderson singing.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, there's a... Well, I mean, Ian Anderson has said that he's not really a singer, per se. He wasn't a singer in
Right.
the beginning, and he was just the least bad singer out of the group when they started. And I feel like there's something... You know what? This may shock you. I hesitate to even say it. I have difficulty sometimes with his phrasing of lines. Like I hear him sing it, and then I look at the lyric, and I'm like, why would you sing it that way? Like, why would you put the emphasis on that syllable? You know what I mean?
Oh, interesting.
It sometimes annoys me if I think about it, but at the same time, it's what makes him so unique.
Sure.
And I feel like, I don't know, maybe this is just my totally personal interpretation of it, but I feel like that gives it a more, that deepens the sense of like vulnerability in some of these songs, which feel very personal, which we're assuming are personal.
Because there is a quote-unquote imperfection. There is a vulnerability.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have the polished feel of somebody who has been really trained to sing in any particular style at all.
Sure, right. I would love for you to point out the next time you feel that. Doesn't even have to be this song, but I'd be curious to hear.
In the next episode, my goal will be to point out one of those moments.
All right, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Could it? I mean, yes, I'm sure a lot of it has to do with little to no training / experience.
Right.
But could some of it just be? I mean, he speaks with a pretty standard British accent now, but I mean, did he have a Scotch thing going on in '69? You know, like.
I don't think so. Because I've heard, on some of the live recordings, you hear him speak, and he doesn't sound.
Oh yeah, that's
He
true.
doesn't sound like some kind of a. He doesn't have a heavy brogue or anything.
That's true, but his diction was garbage back then. I mean, he was very mumbly and.
In the live recordings, you mean?
Not necessarily. I'm thinking more like really early interviews. Even back in.
Could have just been because the microphone was drunk.
We're supposed to cut off the microphone after 2 beers. I even the live at the Isle of Wight. I believe they interview him.
Oh yeah.
At least like for a little bit. I seem to recall somewhere seeing back when he had that long hair and was just a kind of
a wild man.
Yeah, that wildling hooligan. And I seem to remember him just being kind of muffly and kind of head down and I don't know. Maybe I'm manufacturing that.
No, maybe he hadn't become really good at speaking publicly at that point. I mean,
that's my thought.
I do.
He wasn't in frontman mode essentially, you know.
Well, I think there are a lot of people performers who are shy or introverted,
mm-hmm.
but who can, in front of an audience, really, really, really become very outgoing and really connect with a large audience, but find it more difficult to connect with a small group or speak without the mask of the performance in a way.
Right, exactly. It's communicating through the performance as opposed to that genuine connection, really.
Being naked with just your long hair to hide you.
Was he in the musical Hair at any point? That would explain a lot.
No, but I am naked at this moment.
With all of your hair behind you.
My hair is longer now than it has been in a while.
Really?
Yeah, look.
I mean, I guess I've.
Look at all that.
Wow, yeah, I guess so.
See?
I didn't realize that.
Radio listeners, are you not shocked by the length of my hair?
Can't you see how long his hair? Can't you hear how long his hair is?
Oh, let me see if I can. All right, my hair is. No.
My hair is this long.
Nick.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to say about this song?
That's it for my notes. This is the first song. I think this is the first song off of Stand Up that I really feel Like the first three are really good, as we've said in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But
Every Jethro Tull song, we both agree, is amazing.
I mean, let's not go that far. We're going to have to backtrack that one. But this is one of the first songs that really hits it for me, that I feel a connection with.
Yeah, I agree.
Both thematically and musically.
Yeah.
The music is just really... there are a few songs on this album. This song, the next one, Look Into the Sun, We Used to Know, and Reasons for Waiting. Those 4 are just gorgeous songs. They're just so beautiful.
Mm.
And it's just one of the first ones of the Tull oeuvre that really...
Whew.
Yeah, I had a little gas there a little bit.
Did you have some cheese for dinner this evening? Is that what happened?
It was Swiss cheese, which is peculiar. That it's one of the first ones that really does it for me. That really hits it.
Yeah, same here. And as you said, the next episode we'll talk about Look Into the Sun,
Yep.
which is also a favorite of mine. So be sure to clear your schedule for next Tuesday.
6 a.m.
And you know what? You might want to take off Wednesday as well, just to recover.
Yep. I mean, you can always go into work if you feel up to it, but it's better to be safe than sorry.
That's right.
Omen,
Nick.
if this song were a family member,
Oh, God.
what family member would it be?
What, a personal family member of mine?
No. Just in general, like in the footprint of an extended family.
Oh.
What kind of family member would it be?
Like the hot second cousin that you don't know whether or not you can make out with.
Wow, there was no editing trick there. That was on the tip of your tongue.
Well, you asked. I mean,
I know, and I'm both impressed and disturbed.
oh, in most states, actually, you can legally marry your first cousin.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems okay. I was gonna make a political reference. Not gonna.
Charles Darwin did it. He married his first cousin.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. And I think they were actually like in love.
Oh, very, very in
Yeah.
love. Yep.
Yeah. And in the same gene pool too, actually.
Definitely the same species.
at least we can confidently say that.
He confirmed that. All right. I think that does it.
That's enough slander of a great scientist for one evening.
Yeah.
Do the thing. Rate, review, subscribe. Give us 5 stars. Tell your friends. When you do go back to the family, tell them about Talk Tull to Me, please.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, you like that one?
Yeah, I did.
All right. The last one made you sigh heavily.
If you have if you have a commute, Talk Tull to Me is a great way to pass the time on that commute.
This is a stellar endorsement right there.
Thank you.
So come on back in a week. We will discuss Look Into the Sun. And in the meantime, don't forget to tie your shoes.
I'm Omen Sade.
And I'm Nick McGill.
We are Feckless Momes.
And this is Talk Tull to Me.